My name is Jackson, and I was born and raised right here in Oregon, and I've been exploring my home state my entire life, and I finally feel like I visited the very best places here, and I want to share them with you. So this is my Oregon Top 10. We are starting this list with one of the most breathtaking natural wonders in Oregon that everyone needs to experience, Blue Pool. Blue Pool is located on the Mackenzie River just an hour east of Eugene, and it is a very easy 2-mile hike in, 2-mile hike out. You can do it during the winter or summer, but what's not easy is scrambling down this bank to the shore of this picturesque pool and actually jumping into the frigid 37-degree water. It is 5 degrees above freezing year-round because its origin is an icy cold spring deep underground.
That is unexplainably cold, but I can't believe Megan did it, and you gotta do it too.
It is so cold that most microorganisms can't survive here, which is why it's extremely clear and absolutely worth seeing. But please be careful. There's an alluring cliff jump where people get hurt every year. I recommend just being safer and jumping in from the lakeside platform. And just 5 minutes away from the Blue Pool trailhead is my favorite pair of waterfalls in Oregon, Sahaley and Coosaw Falls. Two absolute monsters on the Mackenzie River, and definitely worth pairing with your visit to Blue Pool. But next up, we are headed to the Columbia River Gorge, a stretch of riverfront on the Oregon-Washington border, beginning about 30 minutes east of Portland. This stretch of forest is home to 90 waterfalls, 77 on the Oregon side, and all of them are worth seeing, especially the most iconic waterfall in Oregon, Multnomah Falls. But I think the best waterfall here is Tunnel Falls. It's an isolated off-the-beaten-path waterfall, and it requires a full-day adventure to get to, and there are plenty of bonus waterfalls along the way, but your reward is walking on the trail that literally goes through a rock behind the waterfall.
It's so sick. I just got scolded for no running, and Megan's absolutely right. Do not run here. It is a little sketchy.
You will be part of an exclusive club of people who actually see this waterfall in person, because it is a 12-mile round-trip hike along some pretty crazy cliffs. It's not for the faint of heart or people who are clumsy. This hike requires sure-footedness and awareness. If that's not you, that's okay, because the gorge is basically a wonderland of waterfalls, and they're all amazing. Next up, we're headed to the Oregon coast to see some sand dunes. Oregon has insane expanses of sandy beaches, sand cliffs, and sand dunes that just feel otherworldly. And while most people go do the sand dunes in and around Florence to partake in sand motorsports, rip through the dunes on quads, bikes, and buggies, I prefer a little more solitude and recommend doing the John Dellenbach Trail. It's a pretty underground trail that takes you right through an expansive sea of sand dunes, void of motorbike noises, and it's just a really peaceful walk. And you can go all the way to the secluded beach, or you can just walk a mile in until you are absolutely surrounded by dunes. Pack sunscreen though, there is literally zero shade. I swear, I was seeing some mirages this day. It was a cooker. But if you don't feel like exerting too much energy, you can experience sand dunes pretty much everywhere on the northern 2/3 of Oregon's coastline. There are some absolutely great spots with some must-see dunage. Heading from the beach inland, we are heading to Oregon's undisputed most iconic mountain, Mount Hood. Standing at over 11,000 feet high at the summit, it is the tallest mountain in the state, and it's located just 50 miles east of Portland. Mount Hood is home to many winter and summer sports, easily one of the most recognizable natural attractions in the state, and Timberline is right at the base of it. It's just a classic mountain lodge that is quite a spectacle on the inside. The engineering of the beams in the main room is spectacular. It's just a great spot to relax by the fire and read, chat with friends, and slow down. We enjoy eating at the Ram's Head Bar on the 3rd floor. They've got some great food, but honestly, we typically just come here for the hot chocolate. Timberline is a National Historic Monument and was famously used as the exterior for the Overlook Hotel in the movie The Shining. Spooky and shreddy at the same time. Trading the mountain for a lake, we are headed to Oregon's crown jewel, Crater Lake. Crater Lake is located less than 2 hours south of Bend and is Oregon's only national park and the deepest lake in the United States. Crater Lake was formed from the caldera left by the collapse of Mount Mazama and has a single standalone island in it called Wizard's Island. You can drive the rim road in the summer, but in the winter, the 44 feet of annual snowfall the lake gets each year shuts this road down completely. Now, the best thing to do here is to hike the Cleetwood Cove Trail down to the water's edge. There's a nice little swimming area where you can just see how clear the lake is. It's absolutely insane. It's like a giant blue pool, to be honest. Then if you keep going just around the corner, there's a perfect place for beginner cliff jumping. This lake is so cold, but it's also refreshing, and it's a must-do. And this trail is the only access point down to the water on the whole lake. But here's the bad news. this trail is closed for the next 3 years, so add it to your bucket list for 2029. Let's head 2.5 hours north to another epic place, but one that is absolutely open every day, year-round. Located just north of Bend is the most dramatic rock cluster in Oregon, Smith Rock State Park. It's basically Oregon's answer to Zion. Towering rock spires rise above the Crooked River. In this high desert environment, it stands proud among the mountains, and it attracts climbers, stargazers, and adventurers alike. I recommend hiking the legendary Misery Ridge Trail for panoramic views, a great view of Monkey Face Rock, and I mean, it's just one of the most beautiful hikes you can do in Oregon. Smith Rock is pretty well known though. It gets really busy during the day, so I recommend doing sunrise or sunset here, but no matter how you experience it, it won't disappoint. Something else that won't disappoint is the easternmost spot on this list, the Wallowa Mountains. Sometimes called the Alps of Oregon, it is home to jagged peaks, alpine lakes, and almost no crowds. This region is stunning and off the beaten path for most people, but it's worth a spot on this list because of how different it is. You can ride the tramway up to Mount Howard, paddle Wallowa Lake, ride a pedal cart along the decommissioned railroad, explore the charming town of Joseph, and many other things. But if you come all this way, you have to do the one main thing. Hike the Eagle Cap Wilderness. This has to be the best hiking in the state. It feels entirely different from other wilderness. It's high country, it's beautiful, it's just a heck of a drive to get out here, but it's absolutely worth it. Plan on camping a few nights and exploring some high alpine lakes. And we can't talk about Oregon without mentioning Portland, the city that truly lives by the motto, keep Portland weird. Portland is a unique city, split by the mighty Willamette River, and is home to some iconic bridges spanning that river. There are so many incredible things to do here, hard to narrow it down, but from my perspective, there are 2 must-do things. Number 1, visit OMSI, a science museum where kids and adults can get their hands on a ton of really cool science exhibits, learn about physics or other natural sciences, do some brain teasers, and just be immersed in science. I think it's really important in this day and age to continue teaching kids and getting excited about non-screen activities. Also, they have this thing called OMSI After Dark. It's pretty much a date night for adults. Science combined with alcohol. What could go wrong? And number 2, when you're here in Portland, go do something quintessential Portland weird. I'm talking about watching the Soapbox Derby, visiting the world's smallest park, checking out the UFO in Sabi Island, adding a troll to the Troll Bridge. Just go do something weird. Not too weird, but a little. And next up, we are headed all the way to the northwest corner of Oregon to visit one of the anchors of the northern Oregon coast, Astoria. Astoria was formally founded in 1811 by John Jacob Astor's Pacific Fur Company. More notably, this is where the Lewis and Clark expedition wintered in 1805. There's a replica of their camp called Fort Clatsop that is worth a visit. Now, Astoria is a working, fishing, and maritime town, and it also is just a great place to base out of for some fun adventures, out to the Peter Iredale Shipwreck, Dead Man's Cove at Cape Disappointment, and of course, doing a tour of the filming locations of one of my favorite movies, The Goonies. Astoria is a historic town, so many things to do, but I think the must-do thing here is to visit the Astor Column, walk up to the top, and throw some balsa wood airplanes off of it. Always fun for the kids and adults alike, and you just got the best views in the whole city. Staying on the Oregon coast, we are headed all the way to the southern state border, where there is a 12-mile-long state park that is home to some of the most unreal beaches, coastlines, and views you'll ever see. This is Samuel H. Boardman Scenic Corridor. It's one of the most underrated coastal drives in Oregon, and probably the United States. It's isolated with no major cities nearby, and more sea stacks, secret beaches, and natural bridges than you'll be able to count. It is a must-do stretch of coast. But please be careful exploring here. There are some serious cliffs that, while they are gorgeous, they can be dangerous. Go explore it for yourself, sink your teeth into this tasty stretch of coast. Please be safe, and you'll have a blast. And those are my top 10 places you need to visit in Oregon. I do have a top 25 places coming soon, so subscribe for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.